You will know you have dots when you see this. Once again, after you see that, you can write down your evidence in your book and rule out even more ghosts. Now onto our third evidence, we have ultraviolet or UV, and the way that UV works is pretty simple. You take your UV flashlight and shine it on a specific surface that the ghost has interacted with. For example, if it flicks a light switch, you can check the light switch for a fingerprint. You can also check doors for handprints, and finally, if you hear a knock on a window, that can also leave UV. The ghost can technically leave UV on other surfaces. Many of them are unique to the room, so there's just too many to cover, but just to give you an idea, I have seen UV on the cooler in the basement of Tanglewood. So when looking for UV, it wouldn't hurt to scan the room. One thing I do want to clarify is it will not leave UV on items it throws. So if it throws a kitchen plate, you don't have to check that. There is a little bonus point I'd like to add to UV, in that it has another piece of equipment that can help you find UV. And that piece of equipment is called salt. Salt, which is unlocked at level 9, can be placed on the ground, and if the ghost walks through it, it has a chance of leaving behind a UV footprint. So once unlocked, I would recommend bringing salt with you to try and force the ghost to show if it has UV. Another thing I want to say about UV is that it is on a timer, so once the ghost leaves the UV, try and do it as quick as possible, otherwise it may despawn and you could be led astray. Finally, there is a ghost who can suppress UV evidence. It's called an obake, and basically what that means is it has a 75% chance of leaving UV instead of the usual 100% chance. So always check more than once just to be sure it's not an obake. Bonus tip, because I like all of you, if you get a UV handprint that has 6 fingers like this, then you actually got lucky, as only the obake can leave that print. Sort of. We'll get to that later. Okay, enough about UV. Let's talk about ghost orbs. Ghost orbs are really, again, quite simple. Using the camcorder, you can walk around the haunted house looking through the little screen. If you happen to stumble across a little white orb floating around, then congratulations, you just found ghost orbs. They don't always pop up right away, so don't just grab the camera, quickly scan the room, and then throw it out. Sometimes it takes a bit of time for them to spawn, so take your time and slowly scan the room just to really make sure there are no ghost orbs. This is one piece of evidence you can rule out, because if it is in that room and you are sure of it, but there are no ghost orbs and you have checked everywhere, then, well, there are no ghost orbs. But always be thorough.